All right, everybody, welcome to TJ. What episode is this?
21.
22.
Right? Oh, damn.
21 was last week. In his defense, we didn't do a show notes for last week because last week was just so like off the cuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, this is officially episode 22 of the Planet Film.
In your defense, it does say 22 at the top of the Google Doc. I just didn't look at it. I just assumed it was 21. So my mistake.
All right. So let us go ahead and get right into this. So how have you been? We've had a little bit of a delay Tuesday, 2 days ago was a little hectic. A lot of stuff going on in our county. How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I thought my PS5 was going to be here today. It's not. It's going to be here tomorrow. And I took PTO tomorrow, assuming that it would be here today.
He took the time off.
It's my first day off from this job. I haven't taken PTO since I started in like July.
You have miles right away?
No, but like you can only carry over 40 hours. I'm at like 38. So
no. I said miles.
So I have miles.
Do you have miles?
No. I don't have. No.
Oh, okay.
And
what are you gonna play?
I'm gonna play it. I'm not using the disc.
Oh, you're just saying that you're gonna buy it. That's what you're gonna play. You just haven't bought the digital yet. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got my Xbox. When did it come out? Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing some Master Chief Collection. I might dive back into Destiny. I'm not really sure. And I'm gonna get Call of Duty Cold War on Xbox as well.
Nice.
So I tried to play it on my PC. It was like not the best. It was still like it wasn't bad, but there's definitely like it was staying at like a solid like 50 frames. Like it wasn't the smoothest thing in the entire world.
Gotcha.
But that was the beta, so you never know. I guess it could change. But how about you? Anything special?
I'm just loving work, having a great time. Just living large, living like Larry. Yeah. Trying to keep the best of each day. We might be having more interesting conversations about stuff next week. Just depending on how this week goes. We said, it's been a rough time for New York State. We're going back up the ladder with the COVID numbers. So a lot's happening. A lot's kind of up in the air right now. So yeah, we'll see what's going on. But in terms of right now, I just had a very, very hectic last 45 minutes. So me and my roommate went to Dollar General because we had an extra $20 to spend, and we were just impulsively, we were like, what should we do with this? And we were like, let's just get like we're children again. We were just like, let's just get candy. Let's just go to the dollar store and just see what candy we can get. And then when we were at the dollar store, we saw that they had Christmas stuff. So we actually ended up spending about $40 on buying a Christmas tree and a whole bunch of Christmas decorations. So we're going to do that right now. But in the mail today, I got my new bank card, and I activated it, and I went to pay for all the Christmas stuff, and I had my old card.
Nice.
Yep.
Did your card expire?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, and the guy was so nice. He was like, oh, you're doing Christmas shopping early. Oh, that's real fun. Like, oh, I hope you guys have a great time. Like a great conversation, great guy. And then he was just like, your card declined, bro. And I was like,
bro. And he got really mean. He went, hey,
and then he was
asshole, like, pay for your $1 Christmas ornaments.
Oh my God. That's exactly what he said. He said, hey, dick face, what are you doing here? No.
Yeah.
But he did kind of, he was just, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We live like 3 streets away. I'll be back in like 4 minutes. And he was like, well, I'm going to have to cancel the order out. And I was like,
what'd you leave as collateral? Okay. Did you leave anything as collateral? I mean, it's not like you were taking it, so it doesn't really matter, but
yeah, I left my, my diamond, covered, Furby, as collateral. Yeah.
He said I'll buy this off you for $100.
And I said, no way.
There we go. He said, take it off the total.
Take it off the total. You owe me $65.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No, but what's it called? So we ended up we were able to pay for it and everything. We just grabbed the card and then went back. So I'll be setting up a Christmas tree after this because we're just like, well, with the pandemic and stuff, might as well do it now just in case, you know, Christmas isn't that great.
Things are looking bleak.
Things are looking bleak. You know, you got to find hope in the little things.
At least for this state. I just saw California, apparently the second state to pass 1 million cases since the beginning of the pandemic or something like that.
All right.
I think I saw it like about an hour ago. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it's going to get worse before it gets better. And it probably won't be better for another year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, also, I'd just like to say this. I knew I should have held on to that AMC stock because that shit shot up about 80% when that vaccine was announced. And I could have made maybe, $10. But no, I had to sell it. So that's my sad story of the week. Could have made a nice little profit. Didn't happen. I haven't looked at Apple's, actually. I do have one Apple stock, one Apple share. And then they announced that they are going with their own processing chip. Instead of using Intel, which they have been for the past however many years. They're going to develop their chip in-house, their own CPU now. Wow. Which now a MacBook can run iPhone apps with this new chip, with this new CPU. Wow. So that's a game changer right there.
Why even have iPads? You know?
Exactly. I don't know.
Cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman. Why even have MacBooks? Why even have iPhones? Apple should just close up shop. Look at that. Jeez. We solved it. Tim Apple, that one's for you. That one's free.
Tim Apple.
Oh, you know what? We're just kind of free flowing here. We got some time. Last week we were in a bit of a time crunch, but let's talk about it. Officially, no matter what maybe crackpot theories you hear out there, officially Joe Biden, 46.
Hey, the networks do not call the president, my friend. The networks do not call the president. It's a very long process that will not be confirmed until January 22nd. Is that what it is? 22nd? If you can answer the question, that'd be great. That's a question posed to you.
December 14th. December 14th is when the Electoral College votes. And when they vote...
Oh, gotcha.
When they vote, the book is closed.
I'm correct, though, in saying that even if you're you're part of the electoral, you cast a vote, you can still vote for anyone.
Oh yeah,
am I correct? Yeah. I was gonna say you can still be like,
yeah. I mean, you are being fraudulent and you are being terrible to your
state
constituents. That's the word I was thinking of. Yeah. But technically, yeah, you could just say fuck democracy and vote for whoever you wanted. Yeah. We could get Kane West as the next president. Anything could happen.
Who had the gall to concede? He conceded.
I know. What a crazy person. What a crazy person.
He went. Hey, he had to man up. He goes, you know what? 2024. I'll see you then.
He said, "I'll see you then, folks. I'll see you then."
But
all right.
Can you imagine if all those people that voted for him spelled his name wrong? So it's like he said it's Kane West, and you can't even take credit for that because you'd be like, well, that's not my name. That's not your name.
Yeah, you'd be like,
I don't know who this Kane West is. It's some middle-aged person in the middle of North Dakota.
Yeah, some banker
running for president. Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it. And what we like to remind you guys of at the start of each and every episode is our social media presence. We're trying to push social media presence, trying to get those numbers up. And also, we are about to hit, I know it's small, but a milestone
30
for the channel.
Subs.
We're trying to get to 30 subs. We need one more person.
Shout out to those people that subbed whenever they did.
Yeah, shout out to the people that got us up there because literally just in the last 3 episodes since we started the social media stuff, our YouTube subscriptions have gone up by almost 5. So we are definitely, we are seeing some momentum on that every week. So if you are watching the show right now, go in the live chat. Let us know you're here. Let it be known whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. I know Facebook. I can't see the live chat on Facebook for some reason. It doesn't. Facebook live chat never works on here. But I can see Twitch and I can see YouTube. So with that, go ahead and share it. Share this video right now if you're watching. Share it on your favorite social media platform, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want to do. And tell people, watch it. If they like it, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. We're trying to build and foster a community of, positivity and, just film and entertainment and just, people that want to have a nice time and just kind of shoot the shit. That's what we like to do on the show, especially in our shooting the shit segment. But, we like to just keep it honest and tell it how it is and give our honest thoughts and stuff. And we want you guys to be a part of that. So let us know. So without further ado, you want to go ahead and get into first topic?
Let's do it.
All right. So as we start off every week here, we start with our new news segment. This is where TJ and I will break down the biggest news stories of the week and give our thoughts on it. Now, the first big story here that we have been waiting on, a little bit disappointing, maybe, but not too disappointing, I would say. Yeah. A little disappointed, but not crazy disappointed. So let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen here for you. Just one sec. There we go. So here we see that finally we have been given the release date for Marvel Studios' WandaVision, set to come out on Disney+. Originally, Disney said that they were going to hold firm to the end of 2020. They just kept saying it'll be by the end of 2020. Well, now that we have official word, and I don't blame them at all. It's taken a village to get this show done. Originally, we know the plan was that Falcon and Winter Soldier was going to be the first show, but because of all their filming commitments in Prague getting pushed back, it ended up, getting shuffled down, and we're kicking off Phase 4 with WandaVision, which I don't think anybody's complaining about. But let's go ahead and I can play the teaser here for you guys. Boom. There we go. Get the little Disney Plus little cow jumped over the moon there at the end with original Disney Plus original series streaming January 15th. Yep, 64 days we will have WandaVision in our sights. TJ, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this unfortunately not coming out in 2020? Leaving the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being the only Marvel Cinematic Universe content that we got this year. So nothing mainstream. What are your thoughts?
I'm not really surprised because now that Soul is going to Disney Plus on Christmas, probably don't want to, they don't want to compete with themselves on their own service. Because Mando goes, into December. And then you have Soul, and then you have WandaVision after. So I'm not really surprised. I was just looking at the screenshot of they have two separate beds. I'm like, do you think that they have two separate beds because it's on Disney Plus? Like, do you think they were like Bob was like, no, they're not sleeping in the same bed. This is going on Disney Plus. Or actually, I'm sorry, it would be Alan. I apologize, not Bob or actually, who's the new CEO? I forget his name.
Bob Chapek.
Not Bob Chapek. Alan Horn. I meant. I was talking about Bob Iger, but Alan Horn is the one who's like, no. No beds together. No chance.
Yeah, I think I think it's just to harken back to like the Dick Van Dyke Show. Where they, shows like that in the 50s where they
go, you want to push the beds together, and
then they would cut off to a different scene or anything. But no,
can we just touch on real quick that I love the fact that this was filmed in front of a live studio audience, or at least some of it, not all of it.
Yeah,
I think that is so cool.
Yeah,
like, I wonder if you'll get not like interaction, but they'll look when they're looking out, it'll be at people, which I feel like is weird. And how severe do you think that non-disclosure agreement is.
Oh, I think it's
like
very
if you
secure.
talk about this, we will. I don't even know. Pick you up outside your house, and you will have to
put a bag over your head and shoot you with a potato gun.
Yeah, and we'll make you watch every X-Men movie over 10 times as punishment.
Yeah, and after the 600 view, we're just gonna show Dark Phoenix. That's it. We're taking the good ones out of the rotation. We're just showing Dark Phoenix over and over again. You were like, maybe Apocalypse had some good stuff. It's gone. Forget it.
No,
you don't get it. You only get Apocalypse 599 times. After that, it's just Dark Phoenix, baby.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts? Are you surprised by this push?
I will say this. Months ago, and you can look back, I don't know which episode, we've done a lot of these shows. Months ago, I said, I was like, I think it's going to be Christmas Day. But you brought up a great point that I did not think about until you said that. Soul took that Christmas Day Disney Plus spot. Of course they don't want it to compete with itself. I didn't even think about that. So I think that's absolutely what it is. They want to give a nice 2-week break, let people catch up on Mando that maybe were late to the season, let families watch Soul over the holidays, and then, boom, 2021, right out of the gate, you get a brand new Marvel show. So I think that this is going to be well worth the wait. 64 days is like it breaks my heart, but I know it's going to be worth the wait. Everyone involved, everyone not involved, everybody knows this show is going to deliver. It's Kevin Feige, it's Marvel Studios, it's Disney Plus. I hate to use the term can't fail, but this is going to be.
It could fail.
It's going to take a lot to make it fail. Like the chances of success are so high.
It's also they also said, I believe, that it'll be 6 hours. So in what fraction do you think that'll be? Do you think it'll be 6-hour episodes? Do you think it'll be 6 like 40, 45-minute episodes? Or I'm sorry, like 8 40, 45-minute episodes, like, because it's limited, so it's only as many episodes as they give you in that.
So I'm going off of, I can't remember when and I can't remember which sites, but I remember distinctly seeing that WandaVision is a 6-hour movie. I remember that. That's what you're referring to. And I also remember, I think it might have been the Diz Insider. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember which one. It could have been any of those ones that, report on a lot of Marvel stuff. But one of them said that in an interview, Elizabeth Olsen said that it would be more than 6 episodes. So that leads me to believe it's going to be like Mando, basically. I think it's going to be closer, like you said, 8, kind of in that like 41 to 49 minute territory. And I think it's going to be 8 episodes. That's what I think. And then I think because maybe it was a harder thing to shoot and maybe they wanted to make it more concise. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be 6 episodes. And then there's rumors that Loki is going to be a longer series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's been filming for a while. That Loki is still
I didn't even know it started filming.
Oh yeah.
It was still like pre-production.
No, months ago because remember at the Super Bowl last year there was a clip from Loki.
Remember that?
Yeah,
you mean from February? So not last year.
Not last year, yeah, but February, yeah. Yeah, they've been filming that since like January of last year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because like right before lockdown happened, that was where we got all those set pictures of Owen Wilson, and people were like, "Oh, who's Owen Wilson playing in Loki?" Like that type of thing. But I don't
remember that.
You don't remember that?
No, I didn't even know Owen Wilson was in this thing.
Granted, we didn't do the show back then, so we were. It was more just I would like message TJ something, and he'd be like, "Oh, cool." Like, yeah, and But yeah, it's Owen Wilson's like he's listed as like the co-lead of the show. So it'll be like Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. Yeah, very cool. Honestly, I will say this. There is I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to ruin it for you. Something we just talked about has to do with the film that we are going to be reviewing on next week's show because we already set that. So I will just leave it at that, but it just reminded me, but I don't want to ruin it for TJ because he hasn't seen the movie. which we will tease on our social medias. So make sure you are followed on Twitter and Instagram. Twitter is at Planet Film Pod. Instagram is Planet_Film Pod.
Yep. Quick plug.
We'll tease it on there. Quick plug, real quick.
I just shook my whole desk. All right.
Oh, he's got the earthquake going. All right, so let's go ahead and get on to the next topic here. Now, this has been heating up Hollywood for months, maybe even years, 2 years. I don't know. I can't even remember when all this started.
I don't even know. I feel like it's very this story is very in and out. Like the grand scheme of it, it's very like you'll hear something about it every like 9 months.
Like the tapestry of it is just so like because I think it started in like when he did like what was that movie with the mustache? Mordecai. Do you remember that movie where he had the little mustache and he was like, "Oh,
no."
It exists.
No.
It exists.
Okay.
But anyways, we're going to talk about the Amber Heard angle of this first. So this is, as many of you know, this is the long-going divorce / domestic abuse / slander, libel, lying, cheating, everything that is happening with these two. Just for some context, just going to do a real quick version. Amber Heard, years ago at this point, I think around 2015, filed for divorce against her husband of years, Johnny Depp, and cited domestic abuse allegations. Johnny Depp's career goes down the tubes for a year or two, and then new evidence after a year or two comes out to say, well, maybe that didn't really happen. Maybe he really didn't do anything to her. So, he kind of shot back up with, he had Grindelwald, all that stuff. I say his career went down the tubes. He still had work, but he wasn't the big Johnny Depp he normally was. And then about 2 years ago, it was not just evidence of, well, maybe Johnny didn't do anything. There was now definitive evidence that Amber Heard was actually the one that was mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive of him. There was actual recorded audio and some video of her beating him, really saying some terrible stuff to
I remember
Johnny
seeing
Depp.
something with like a wine glass or something like that.
Yeah,
Twitter,
like
a while ago.
It was some really messed up stuff. I'm not going to repeat any of what she said here, but you guys can look it up if you want to on your own. It's some dark stuff. I do not, and this is and I am not one to obviously I'm not one to I believe women when they come forward with this stuff, you know what I mean? Benefit of the doubt and stuff. But also, I would just as easily believe, if a man came forward with this, and in this case, Johnny Depp had actual proof with his lawyers that this happened. And so now we have got some big fan outrage with what has happened this past week. Because there's been a long-term fan campaign to get Amber Heard removed from Aquaman 2, which obviously, and I'm going to preface this with, such fan campaigns normally aren't successful. It's not like I was expecting Warner Brothers to be like, we've heard you. Amelia Clarke is your new Mara.
The last fan campaign to get something changed was Sonic. Obviously not that long ago, but I feel like they don't come that often. In my opinion.
It's like Sonic and the Snyder Cut, but that wasn't even really the fan cam. It was but Sonic definitely is probably the best example. So basically, to trounce out any rumors that might be happening, let's pull it up here. Amber Heard, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, says that she will return for Aquaman 2 and that she is, quote, very excited to get started. So as you can see, there's been a lot of speculation on her role. Here is the full quote, which basically is her kind of acknowledging it without acknowledging it, and I don't really like that. It's a whole thing. There's a lot of stuff going on with this, but basically she said, and this is the full quote, "I'm super excited about the amount of fan love and the amount of fan appreciation that Aquaman has acquired, and that it has garnered so much excitement for Aquaman and Mara that it means we'll be coming back. I'm so excited to film that." That's basically the full quote. So basically kind of saying, trouncing out any sort of speculation that she would not be coming back or anything like that, and saying, once and for all, no, I am coming back. Nothing is changing. What are your thoughts on this? And then I think we'll just go right over to the next story
Segue
because
into the next one.
it's kind of hand in hand with talking about both of these.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Aquaman still, so
Really?
I know she's like who does she play? What's that character's like significance in Aquaman?
She's like the love interest. She's
Okay.
she's Arthur's wife in the comics.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's a very significant character.
Yeah, considering she's caused as much trouble as Johnny Depp, I feel like, because I think there's blame to go both ways, in my opinion. Because the thing that the libel case that were referring to, it was in England against the Sun newspaper, and they claimed, talking about like basically saying that Johnny Depp did like abuse her, and he sued them and he lost.
Yeah.
So the judge is looking at that saying it looks like that they got their story correctly. They got it correct, that there is enough evidence to say that they weren't lying, that you did in fact, abuse her in some way, shape, or form. But like you said earlier, it kind of goes both ways because we've heard that video with the wine glass or whatever, which I think that's her in the video yelling at him. I could be wrong.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I think it kind of, the blame goes both ways. Which kind of leads into the next story. If you want to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, we can just hop right. Yeah, we can just hop right over to that, which is that also this week, we learned that Johnny Depp was basically asked not to return for here. Let's see if we could pull up the actual Instagram post real quick. Let's see if Instagram will cooperate. Yep. So right here. So this is Johnny Depp's official Instagram page. And as you guys can see on screen right now, here, let me try to zoom in. It's a little blurry because it's like in a typewriter font. There we go. That's nice and big for you guys. Okay. So this is Johnny Depp. He said, this is the full statement. I will just read it out for you guys. So basically, in light of recent events, I would like to make the following short statement. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody who has gifted me with their support and loyalty. I have been humbled and moved by your many messages of love and concern, particularly over the last few days. Secondly, I wish to let you know that I have been asked to resign by Warner Brothers from my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I have respected and agreed to that request. Finally, I wish to say this. The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal. My resolve remains strong, and I intend to prove that the allegations against me are false. My life and career will not be defined by this moment in time. Thank you for reading. Sincerely, and then he signed Johnny Depp. So he was asked to step down from his role as the titular Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts universe, in the Harry Potter universe. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts with this, contrasted against, not only Amber Heard not leaving Aquaman, but doubling down that she's not going anywhere?
Considering that I feel like, again, we weren't there, we don't know what exactly happened. Considering I feel like that both of them are in the wrong, I feel like in this way as well, is if abuse, domestic abuse, emotional, they should both be probably talked by Warner Brothers to step down from their roles, including, this is also not, we also haven't talked about it in a long time, but that Ezra Miller video that came out like months ago that still has not been mentioned whatsoever. Like, I still don't understand how they haven't said anything about that, which makes no sense to me.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna call an audible here for a second.
Okay. Let's call that audible.
Let's just have a open conversation about Warner Brothers.
Okay.
What is going on with Amber Heard, Johnny Depp,
and
Ray Fisher,
J.K.
and
Rowling,
Ezra Miller, and J.K. Rowling? What is going on? What is going on at Warner Brothers that these all of these cases, they are just bungling? You have Ray Fisher, the big ones, the big four are the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and then Ray Fisher and Ezra Miller. What is going on? Do you think that this is a systemic problem with how Warner Brothers is run as a company, and I don't want to say Warner Brothers as the entire company. I should specify
Yeah.
Warner Brothers Pictures, WB Pictures, the
Yeah.
actual movie house.
Warner Brothers Pictures is the subsidiary of AT&T. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, not full scale
AT&T
Warner
in
Media.
general. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's issues at like HBO. I mean, there might be. I'm just talking about specifically the movie studio because that is who we seem to have the most issues with.
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
this is a big systemic problem there, or do you think this is just a few, bad circumstances, or
Well,
is this a bigger issue?
considering that it's not like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were abusing their producers and director and stuff like that, I'm gonna say that it's not, because the only problem with that there's really been with the studio is Ray Fisher.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller didn't,
Mm-hmm.
take the female director of, I don't know, whatever, or the, PA and choke slam her on the ground, whatever he did, and that, whatever, wherever he did it. So I would have to, with the way they've been handling it, I'd have to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not surprised. They wanted to wait for, obviously, like the court to do its thing, the law, before they made any rash or any decisions.
Oh yeah,
but
'cause
Ezra Miller,
if they fire him and then the court says you're
well,
right.
that's just That's in England though. He has another lawsuit in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know if it started yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the Ezra Miller thing, that's just riridiculous to me. Like they just didn't say anything. It's like people just like would forget
right over it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, bro, you have to say something about this. Like, hello. And then the Ray Fisher thing, obviously, there's something going on there. I feel like we still don't know like the scope of that, because I feel like I think, was it Jason Momoa said something about it, and then somebody else did. Was it wait, who? No, it wasn't. I was gonna say, was it Gal Gadot, but it wasn't.
No.
Was it just Jason Momoa? Do you remember that? Didn't he like post something?
And then I think it was also maybe Henry Cavill just said like,
Oh.
I stand with Ray or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jason Momoa full on came out and was like,
yeah. I would say that's the only like, company, like internal problem.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, and that, like I mentioned, J.K. Rowling, but she's not like, well, she does have her hand in like everything. I'm pretty sure still like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
She's not. I wouldn't say she's like part of the company, because she's not like an employee. She's just somebody who they're using her source material. They bought they licensed the IP or whatever. But she needs to just shut the fuck up, because she just needs to stop talking. Like I don't get it. Like literally 2 of your characters are like gay for each other, and you're still making these comments. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Actually, talk about the movie real quick. I think both of us, we can say that Fantastic Beasts 1 was good. Second one wasn't great. Which, and I think we've talked about this, I think they should have just left Colin Farrell as the villain. I don't know why we had to make it Johnny Depp. It made no sense to me. And I don't even think we'll make it to 5 Fantastic Beasts. I think we'll make it to one more, and then, because I feel like they're seeing diminishing returns at this point, because I feel like every Fantastic Beast that comes out, it does less and less.
Mm-hmm.
Which this kind of leads into the last story about Mads Mikkelsen.
Yep. Yeah, and I just want to say quickly, because there's a small mutiny forming in the chat. Danielle and Donald, Planet Hero will come back, most likely with WandaVision. There's not much to talk about right now without that, and also with the schedule. But we could talk more about that in a private forum.
We want Hero. We want Hero. We want Hero. Sorry. I almost said film.
Well, you got it. There we are. We're right here.
Exactly.
Film. There we go. Donald, make sure you share this with your friends. All right. So now we lead into a story here, which we could talk a little bit about this in a positive light, as opposed to the other stories here. All right. So here we go. Sorry about that. So we have already, it looks like Mads Mikkelsen is lined up to replace Johnny Depp in Fantastic Beasts 3 as, again, the character of Gellert Grindelwald in the third Harry Potter prequel. So what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Mads Mikkelsen stepping into the part. And what are your thoughts on the quick turnaround on this being so quick?
I bet they probably. I feel like they might have had this in the barrel already.
Yeah,
I think they had this lined up because I feel like it was like literally a day, and then there was like people like, "Oh, it's gonna be Mads Mikkelsen who's gonna take Johnny Depp's place."
Yeah, let's
Which
see here.
honestly, I'm fine with that. He's great at playing villains. I mean, he's just a great actor in general.
Mm-hmm.
But him as a villain, I love. He was obviously villain in Doctor Strange. I actually have not seen him in that much. I know he's in. If you ever heard of Death Stranding, I don't think he's not a villain in that. I don't think, but he's in that game. And obviously Rogue One. And I know he's done like way more things that I just don't know about.
Stardust.
Correct.
Oh, here we go. Whoa.
Oh, Hannibal. What?
Just an update on Amber Heard. There's also further comments where she says, this is her taking not the this is more of the Entertainment Weekly interview. I'm sorry, just real quick. It just says that the rumors of her being replaced have absolutely no basis in this reality or any other.
Wow. So
Okay.
maybe if you watch WandaVision, go to a different reality.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we could get Evan Peters as Mara in the next Aquaman.
Exactly. But no, I'm actually excited about this. Doesn't really make me more. I think it's a good choice, but I'm gonna watch the other Fantastic Beasts. Like I'm not gonna say I'm not going to, but am I gonna enjoy them? Probably not.
Yeah.
If the first two have any indication of what the next three will be like. But I want to see us. Let's dive more and more into this Jude Law, Mads Mikkelsen, relationship that we see in this upcoming movie. How about you? What do you think about this? You like it? You hate it? Indifferent?
Well, I mean, I would have just preferred we see either Johnny Depp continue or bring Colin Farrell back.
Or Colin Farrell, that too.
But I do understand that Colin Farrell is busy, with his 10-year shoot on the Batman.
You could, honestly, bring Colin Farrell back and be like, I was just kidding. This is my other face.
Yeah, he just goes, I'm back. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
we didn't even bring this up. If they do address the Ezra Miller thing at some point, Ezra Miller is also in this movie.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that's why you brought it up.
I know that didn't even occur to me.
Yeah,
I was just saying that just because he plays the Flash, and they haven't addressed that at all. But that could be a thing too. You never know. If he leaves the Flash, does that mean he's leaving Fantastic Beasts as well?
Who knows? Maybe Michael Keaton is the new Grindelwald. I can see that. That'd be dope. Ooh.
Can you say it?
He said.
You're like, no.
He said, "You want to get magic? Come on." Let's get magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
But guy. No, I like this choice.
Yeah. In terms of if you take everything else away from it, if you say to me, do I think the very interesting, the very exotic looking Mads Mikkelsen with his great accent would make a great Grindelwald? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. If that is what's happening, I think that's the best choice you could have done. Maybe a Pierce Brosnan would have been good.
Oh, can you imagine with the handlebar mustache and the goatee?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he would look pretty
badass.
He would look, yeah. I'll tell you one thing that these next Fantastic Beasts movies need. They need more beasts. The second one didn't have enough.
They need more beasts.
The first one was chock full of them. We had a bunch of different animals. This second one, it was like, eh.
You know what? Actually, I'll say this right now. Right now, everybody, go to the Planet Film Twitter. I am about to, during the break, I'm going to put up a poll. Do Fantastic Beasts need more beasts? Do we need more beasts in the Fantastic Beasts universe? Let us know. I'm putting up the poll right now once we go to our break. So that'll do it for the new news segment. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. And then we will be back with our review this week, and it is going to be a big one. All right, welcome back. And Donald, if the looping of this kind of blows, do it yourself. All right, let's go. Okay, Donald's just going off in the chat. He's ripping apart the show. He's ripping apart the show. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the Donald. You're screwing me up. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the review, shall we? Let's just cut right into it. So, this week we've been teasing it. I think actually when the words are about to leave my mouth, that is going to be the very first time we've actually said what the movie is. But if you have been following, oh, what is this going on? We got a full-blown revolution in the chat.
I can't even see the chat, but I'm sure it's funny.
They're just chanting, "We want hero, hero."
Yeah,
hero.
there we go. We want hero.
Yeah.
We want hero.
Thursdays are for Rants on Fire. Well, Rants on Fire is an audio show, which is a great show. I listen every week.
Tell that to those 55 views that video got. We want hero. They're chanting. The views talk. Okay.
The views answer. You know what the views liked? They liked WandaVision.
Yeah.
You know what Planet Hero is coming back with? WandaVision. Now let's go ahead and get into the review. All right, so we are reviewing this week the classic. You want to hit it, TJ?
Back to the Future 3.
Oh yeah, no,
no, Back to the Future 1.
Back to the Future 1. Back to the Future. We're gonna go back in time. Also, Colin, if you were watching this live or on the replay. The film is about him getting back to the future because he got stuck in the past. Colin was like, I don't want to be that guy, but isn't the movie technically about going to the future? And I was like,
well, whatever.
Yeah, I was like, well, you'll have to listen to the
podcast.
Yeah.
Well, okay. IMDb time.
Boom, boom.
All right, so this film is called Back to the Future, as we just stated about 2 seconds ago. Came out in 1985, runtime about an hour 56 minutes. And I like to kind of change up the facts I give. You know.
Oh, there you go.
You know, either I'm going to give the rating or the runtime or the year it came out. You never know.
Let's do it.
Actually, it came out the day before 4th of July, so July 3rd came out. Thought that was pretty interesting. I just saw that.
Nice.
And the description of the film. A Marty McFly, a 17-year-old high school student, is accidentally sent 30 years in the past in a time-traveling DeLorean invented by his close friend, the eccentric scientist Doc Brown. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. Starring Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson, Crispin Glover, Thomas F. Wilson, Claudia Wells, Mark McClure. Am I missing anybody? Those are kind of like... Oh, Billy Zane's... Who's Billy Zane play?
He plays one of Biff's guys.
Oh, I never mentioned that. By the way, I'm just going to say this right now. This might be really mean.
Uh-oh.
Do you think, and if you don't live in our area or know us personally, you're not going to know who this person is. Do you think that Biff looks like Brandon?
Like
Brandon F.
Brandon F?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay,
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. I asked Danielle this, and she was like, "Yeah, kinda."
Yeah,
I was like,
does.
"Oh, I like started laughing to myself when I started watching the movie because
I think he really does.
I saw the resemblance."
Yeah.
But yeah, you got the box office for us?
Absolutely. Yeah, we are reviewing a film that, believe it or not, actually has box office information.
Wow.
And now that some theaters. The Regal locations in our area and Regals, all around are closing and, nobody knows what's going to happen with theaters right now. But because theater releases are slowing down again, we're probably going to start reviewing a lot of older films again, like we used to, unless there's, a big influx of streaming titles. So, hopefully we'll be doing box office a little more often. But the box office for this film is very, very interesting. I love the numbers. So let's go ahead and look through the budget of this film, which, if you go ahead and listen to the Back to the Future episode of the, I believe it was the Cinephiles, I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember. It might have been a different podcast, but I believe it was the Cinephiles, where they talked all about how this movie got made, or how it almost didn't get made.
Oh,
The budget was a very, very big point of contention with the studios. So the budget was $19 million. Domestic opening. Do you have a guess for how much this movie made in its opening weekend?
I'm gonna say 50.
50. You think this movie made $50 million or $50 million?
Yeah, I
This
feel like it
movie,
wasn't a hit except until like a week or two later.
really? So you think it wasn't a hit and it made 50 million?
I don't know.
It made $11 million.
Oof! Wow.
Yep,
Okay, I was on the right track. I just was way over.
It was a
Dud.
bomb. It was a dud.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was terrible. And
Wow.
then, you know what happened?
What happened?
It just kept picking up
Kept
speed.
going.
Just kept
Yep.
going. It's just one of those old movies that just kept on trucking for like 7 straight months at the box office. It just kept earning, adding more territories, adding more markets, and it ended its original domestic release run with a worldwide total of $381 million.
Wow.
And in other re-releases, and for the Back to the Future Day in 2015, and we at AMC we had the big re-release where we showed all three. In that and stuff, it has accumulated an extra 7 million over the years. So
Wow.
its total worldwide gross to this date is $388.8 million. So this is a big money maker, but had very humble beginnings, starting out with $11 million. I'm sure everybody was very concerned when those numbers came in that weekend.
Yeah.
And then really just was very surprised, sitting back and watching the receipts come in. But yeah, very, very interesting stuff. And there's a whole bunch of more re-release information. I always watch it on Box Office Mojo. That's where I get my information. Box Office Mojo used to be the number one source from box office information. Although recently it has been quite neutered because it was purchased by IMDb, and they really just kind of janked it all up. But it's still good
Also
for
known as
some
Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. It was basically bought by Amazon. So basically, there's a little bit less information than you used to be able to get, but still some pretty cool information. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So for those who have not watched before, our review structure is this. Basically, TJ and I will go back and forth with our honest, non-spoiler thoughts. We will then end that segment by giving our star rating out of 5, and then we will do a spoiler talk for the rest of the review. So let's go ahead and get this going. Let's go ahead and start, TJ, with your non-spoiler thoughts. And also, since this is obviously such a big classic film, how did you first come to this movie? What's your kind of personal connection with it?
I've only seen it twice, so I've seen it once before this, probably about a year ago, honestly, and then the other time, I think me and Danielle watched it together, or Danielle and I, whichever one it is. Watched it together for the first time, or my first time at least. She'd seen it before, I'm pretty sure. I think like a year ago, and I always knew that it was like a classic, but I was just kind of never. It never pulled me in where it's like, oh, I need to watch this right now.
Yeah.
And I would have to say, like, after the first time I watched it, like, I was hooked on it. Like, I still haven't seen the sequels. I know they're kind of diminishing.
Really?
Aren't they? They're kind of diminishing returns, though, as they go. Is like the two segments pretty good, and then the third one's like, eh. Because I guess you can only.
I can't.
Is that correct?
I'm not going to give my thoughts on that.
Okay. That's what I don't know. That's why I go by like ratings. But I think this, obviously you see this is like an instant classic by literally just like the opening with the speaker and the Rube Goldberg machine in the beginning I love that. So what do you think? This is completely off track. What do you think Marty's parents, do you think they're like, why are you hanging out with this professor guy? Or do you think they just don't care?
I think that's one of the big things, and I'll tell you this much about the sequels that's never addressed.
I figured. There's
like one thing where they're like, you're always hanging out with that Doc Brown or Strickland says it. You know, the principal. He says it
Yeah.
sometimes. But I think it's just one of those things where it's like, especially the way, I mean, it's hard to not talk about spoilers for Back to the Future, but the way the McFly household is in the start of the film,
Yeah.
I think it's something where the parents just said, you know what, he's out of the house, it's giving him something to do. It's a positive influence on him, you know what I mean? Because you know, a lot of Hill Valley, you know, kind of look down on Doc Brown. They look
Yeah.
at him like a crazy guy a little bit, you know what I mean? A little mad scientist.
Well, he comes from a wealthy family, does he not? Correct.
Oh yeah, he came over with the Von Browns. That that's in the third movie. You know, we'll get.
Oh, okay. I just thought that was funny. How you
no, that's how he says it. He says my great grandfather came over with the Von Browns. Anyways, we'll get to the third one. But you know, I feel like the McFlys, because at the core of it, they're good people. I feel like they don't see Doc Brown as kind of like this mad scientist, crazy guy. I think they see it as an outlet for Marty to, you know, do something creative, work with him, you know, have a positive influence because they're so busy with work and, you know, home life maybe isn't the best. So I think that's maybe the initial reason why. But again, it's just never really addressed.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say that this is one of those movies that probably does time travel the best. In other movies it's kind of convoluted, but in this one it's really simple. Like, you go back in time, or it's the, you know, wherever you go, don't mess with anything because that's gonna change whatever, blah blah blah.
It's very similar to Endgame.
Yeah, pretty much. I do like how it's not really a spoiler, like how things do happen where he's like, when Marty's like, oh, he never stood up to him before. He's like, and then he's like, whatever, you know. It's like these things happen where it's like, just blah, you know.
Yeah.
And it affects it in some way, but it's nothing like huge where it's like, I mean, I guess it does. It is kind of huge, but it's still something where you're like, looking past that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But overall, like, it's just a fun film. You love all the characters. Even I mean, I don't like Biff. I thought he you know, he's an asshole throughout the whole movie.
But he's
and you're
a great
hoping
character.
There are those, like, the one gripe I would probably have with it is, and I don't know how it was in 1985, but there's that, like, that rapey, like, type, you know, insinuating.
Yeah.
When he gets, you know, like that kind of stuff, and the whole, like, my mom's attracted to me, like, that's kind of weird. Even though she doesn't know that's her son, obviously, but, you know, that stuff is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But still, overall, it's still a fantastic film in my opinion. I don't even want to call it. Would you call it a coming of? No, it's not coming of age or anything. Like, what would you like describe it as?
I would just describe it as a sci-fi action adventure.
Fun. Yeah.
Like a family-friendly action adventure film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
With hints of, like, inappropriateness that are gross in 2020.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think?
I think
long thoughts here. Don't say you hated it, because I know you didn't.
No. This is without a doubt. Back to the Future is probably. I want to be careful here.
You have a poster. I don't know where it is, but.
Oh, it's in the living room. It's the main poster of my house.
Oh, all right. I was trying to remember.
I would say. I think that Back to the Future is probably. I'm choosing my words carefully here because if you've watched, you know how much I love Star Wars, how much I love Lord of the Rings. I think the Back to the Future is probably the single greatest trilogy of film ever. I have seen this movie probably 300 or 400 times. I can't even put into words how I just think that this film it transcends everything that it's trying to be, and it had such a bad hand dealt to it. with all the production issues, the budget issues, the recasting at the last minute of the main character, like everything. TJ, I don't know if do you know about like the recasting or anything?
I've listened to the Cinephiles episode you're talking about. I was gonna re-listen to it before doing this, but I just haven't.
Yeah. It's just for those who don't know, like big Hollywood star, back in the 80s, Eric Stoltz. He was originally cast as Marty McFly, and they said they filmed about 10% of the movie. And basically they just said, this, for one reason or another, this just is not working. They were like, the chemistry's off, the scenes are off, and a big part of that was, and this is a quote directly from the Cinephiles episodes, that Steve Morris said, that basically Zemeckis said, the biggest thing was that Eric Stoltz read the script and said, this is a drama. This is a family drama film. Like he was like, and that's basically why they said like it just didn't work, because Eric Stoltz, in all of his preparation for the role, was bringing the wrong tone to everything.
Yeah.
Like he was playing Marty like the weight of the world was on his shoulders.
Yeah, where you're kind of like, it's not that serious.
Yeah, exactly. With like the picture and him disappearing, like they were like he was just like he was going way too not dramatic acting, but just the tone that he was striking. It didn't have the upbeat, kind of light Marty McFly tone that you got from Michael J. Fox. And Zemeckis wanted Michael J. Fox, but he was busy shooting what's the show? Family Ties. And he couldn't do it. So then they struck that deal with the network so that he could film Back to the Future at night. Right. Yeah, he could film Back to the Future at night, and then still be there for the studio tapings of the show. Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy. Michael J. Fox was a freaking beast of an actor back in the day, dude. He was living it up under so much stress and work. But yeah, I just think it's one of the best, and this film is one of the singular greatest films of all time. It's in my top 5 probably greatest films of all time. That's why I hesitate to say like it's my favorite franchises, because then you're like, well, Marvel, Star, you know what I mean, like whatever. Yeah. But I'll settle on trilogy. I think that this.
I would say you can't. I feel like you can't say Back to the Future is a franchise because it doesn't really expand past the movies.
Yeah, exactly. I just
think trilogy is fair, I would say.
Yeah, I just think it's the best trilogy of all time. Which of course we are going to review Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3 on this channel, on this show. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, do you want to just hop right into spoiler talk?
Yes. Yeah, right, let's go.
So let's go ahead.
Stars.
Yes, I will give my star rating first. Probably not a surprise. I'm going to go a full 5 out of 5.
Same with me. 5 out of 5. Not even close.
It's just one of those movies that, you hesitate to call any film this, but it's one of those perfect movies. It's just one of those perfect movies. And I will say as a side note, for those who know, I go to Comic-Cons a lot. TJ goes to Comic-Cons, I would say a lot now too, because he goes basically all the ones that I go to now. Although we haven't this year, which is, sad, but we will go next year. Hopefully next year, maybe 2 years. I don't know. But this is a film that I have met almost every single cast member from. I meet if there's ever any Back to the Future people, it is the immediate first place that my money goes to. And I've met basically everybody but Leah Thompson and Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox was at a Comic-Con that I was at, but it was a tight money year, so I wasn't able to get his photo op or meet him, just because it was so much, and he was in kind of a private area, because of his his ailments and stuff. He could only do a couple pictures at a time, and then they'd have to give him a break.
Is he that, like, how old is he anyway?
Michael J. Fox, he's only like
he's just like not
50 or 60.
He's just not in the best shape, basically. He's just not.
Well, because he has Parkinson's.
Oh, I actually did not know that.
Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, that's like he's like the main famous person with Parkinson's. Yeah, he's had that for years. That's why he can't act anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Damn, I did not know that.
yeah, and then recently, they announced that he had basically his entire short term memory is gone. So
God
it's like,
damn.
yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, and he's still very young. I mean, he could still easily, if he was better, he could easily act for another probably like 40 years.
Yeah.
But it's like it's just one of those things that it's like it's just terrible. But yeah, so that's why he can only do a couple pictures at a time. He's 59 years old. But yeah, so let's go ahead and just jump into the spoiler talk. So let me go ahead and throw the spoiler warning up on the screen. Spoiler,
Boom.
there we go. Boom. All right, so when that spoiler tag is up at the top of the screen above mine and TJ's head, that we are in full spoiler territory, so you have been warned. Let's go ahead and talk. What are some of your favorite things about this film? What's just some stuff you want to talk about right off the bat?
I think it's interesting. I like the progression that you see from the very beginning of the movie when you meet his family in the first place, which I don't. This is really going to sound really, 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 really mean. I don't remember his family looking that rough when I watched it the first time.
Yeah.
When I watched it, I was like, oh, they all look like they're like not doing too well.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like the only one in the family I feel like that's kind of like up, like kind of not like. They're not like down in the dumps, but he has nothing that's like I feel like is like ailing him. His dad is obviously Biff is his boss and he's doing his boss's work and he's basically helping his boss get farther in life while he gets no credit for the work he's doing. And then his brother's working at a fast food restaurant, I assume. His sister doesn't seem to be doing anything. His mom is smoking and doing all this other stuff. And he's the only one that I feel like is just not in the jam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the end, you see they're all like his dad, his brother. Oh, I always wear a suit to the office every day.
Yeah.
And his sister, I don't know what his sister does, but she just seems like she's in a better mood.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, his parents are like, da da da. And then, his dad walks out and goes, Biff, don't try to cheat me. I know you're putting on the second coat of paint right now. Or the wax.
Of course, Mr. McFly.
Of course. Yeah. Biff is one of the worst people. I cannot like the character is like funny to me, but he's terrible. Yeah. Obviously he's practically they don't like show like from what you can tell, it seems like he's basically raping what's his mom's name?
Lorraine.
Yeah, but basically. Yeah. Obviously he does just multiple things in the movie where he's basically cheating. He's basically cheating at his job in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool. This is like completely like pivot. I thought it was cool how it's kind of like Marty through that's his time in the past. He invents things without like the skateboard.
Yeah.
Like, he takes the thing, the piece of wood off of the scooter, I guess you want to call whatever that was. And he basically like invents the skateboard. What is the at the end when he's like singing, when he's like rocking out? What does he invent in that moment? Does he like come up with something? The song,
like
right?
Johnny Be Good, yeah.
Yeah,
with Chuck Berry. That's why the guy's on the phone and he says, Chuck, it's your
cousin.
Oh,
right. I missed that.
Marvin Berry.
Yeah.
And he said, you
gotta hear this.
Yeah, you know that new sound you've been looking for? Listen to this. It's like, oh my God.
And is there anything else he invents? Or no? Is that the only thing you can think of? I feel like those are the only two I remember, but
well, he tells Goldie Wilson that he should run for mayor. And then
that too. Like, yeah. He goes, mayor. That has a nice ring to
mayor. It. And then the guy goes, a colored mayor, that'll be the day. And they say, I
was like, oh. Like I said earlier too, like the only bad parts about this movie are obviously the rape thing and basically his mom like falling in love with him, which is just weird. But other than that, like it's still like it's just fun. I feel like you have fun watching this.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel well. Doc Brown is like one of those characters that you're like, oh, that like when you think Back to the Future, do you think Marty McFly or do you think Doc Brown?
I would say it's about 50-50.
I feel like he's like not even like he's not in it as much as you would expect him to be.
Oh, in the first one, absolutely. Yeah. In the first one, he's like, he is in it. Like in the next two, he is definitely in it as much as Marty. Like in this one, definitely not. This one is definitely Marty is 100% driving the story. It's all Marty's story. Yeah. In the third one is basically just a movie about Doc. Like the third one is basically just Doc's story. And then the second one is basically like an even mix of the two because it's about Marty's family, but Doc is in it basically throughout the entire film. But yeah,
like I think it's crazy that like just like the ridiculous of it where he's like, Did you rip off the plutonium or whatever? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I told the Libyans I was gonna get it to him to make a bomb, and I stole it. Mm-hmm. It's like
he said, I gave him a box of old pinball parts, pinball machine parts.
It's like, what are you talking about?
And then the great line of, "Oh my God, I don't know how, but they found me. They found me." And he goes, "Doc, who found you?" And he goes, "The Libyans."
Do you have any background on how the DeLorean came to be in the movie? Is that something that was written, or they were like, "Hey, we'll sponsor your movie"?
I think it was just like they just were like, "That's the coolest looking car that you could turn into a time machine." But what's it called? Yes, the thumbnail has to be changed. Thank you, Donald. But yeah, I think the DeLorean was just like kind of the coolest car that they could pick for it because I think this was even after DeLorean went out of business.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was even after because that's why Marty's like, out of a DeLorean, because it's kind of like he's like what the hell, like, But yeah, it's and the quotability of this film and the things that have seeped into and just all throughout the pop culture, you know what I mean, is just it's like unmatched, I would say, for a film like that. I mean, maybe besides like Star Wars, but Star Wars is its own big, huge thing. I'm talking about this is 3 movies. This is 3 movies of an original IP with original characters and original storytelling that has become as big as, you know, that is as big as like Marvel or Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
Does the second one have anything to do with what they hint at the end where it's like, your kids, there's nothing wrong with you? Like, does that have anything to do with the second one?
This is like so weird to me to hear somebody who like has not seen it, like to be like, that is it, that is entirely what the sequel is about.
Okay. I didn't know if they like it was planned when they were just said it and they were like,
like I don't want to. I won't spoil more. But like the second movie literally picks up with immediately after. It's literally they play that scene again. But yeah. What do they become assholes or something?
Yeah, exactly. What about you? Do you have any favorite thoughts?
I just for me it's like just everything. Like I could just dissect this whole movie. I think, you know, if we ever start doing commentaries or anything or like a watch along, I would love this to be our first one because you know it's 2 hours. It's infinitely quotable.
It does not feel that long, and
it's a breeze.
We're already almost done.
Yeah, this movie is a breeze too. But yeah, no, I just love this film with every fiber of my being. I love the sequels. I just love everything about it. You know, just like the only thing capable of generating the 1.21 gigawatts we would need would be a bolt of lightning. And he said, "Say that again, Doc? A bolt of lightning." The only trouble is we don't know when or where one will ever strike. He goes, "But wait."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And just the whole like save the clock tower, like that's like just that just Save the Clock Tower, like, is just such part of like movie culture. You know what I mean? Like, it's so it's just so big, and the symbolism of the DeLorean, and even just of Marty and Doc themselves. You know what I mean? Is so huge, in everyone's minds and everything. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just hard to review something that I wish I wish that we could just talk minute by minute about this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I wish that we could dedicate 5 minutes of talking to 1 minute of screen time, because everything in it, and then even just all the little changes too that I don't even know if you've seen all of them or anything. Like, the Twin Pine Mall at the beginning of the film turns into the Lone Pine Mall because Marty ran over one of the pine trees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, I'm Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan. Like, that whole thing. Like, I'm your density. Like, just everything in this freaking movie is just so perfect. So perfect. Yeah, it's just the perfect movie. It's just literally is the perfect movie. Absolutely through and through.
Yeah, me and Danielle are gonna watch both the part 2 and 3 at some point. Probably in the coming weeks. I don't know. I don't know when, but
well, I mean, if we have gaps in the schedule, we could definitely watch. We could make reviews out of them. So that's absolutely. But yeah, with that, I think that'll do it for our spoiler talk. Let's go ahead and remove the spoiler warning. Boop, boop, boop. It's all gone. All right. Cool. So with that, basically, I think our shooting the shit this week is going to be thrown to you guys. So what do you want to see? So with anything changing, with the lockdown happening, one way or another, eventually.
I just like to update on the poll. 100% so far, more beasts.
Oh, wow. Yeah, go out and go to our Twitter. Go to our Twitter right now and vote. Vote. Do you want? Let me see what it actually. Let me see. Let me get this pulled up here for a second. 1 second here. Do you want more beasts, less beasts, or the current amount of beasts? Beasts. That's so hard to say.
Beasts.
in Fantastic Beasts in that franchise. Do you want more, less, or the current amount? Go ahead and vote.
More beasts.
And while you're on our Twitter voting on the poll, make sure you go ahead and follow our Twitter, which is @PlanetFilmPod. Instagram is @Planet_FilmPod. But like I said, the shooting the shit, we're going to throw it to you guys. So with that, once WandaVision is up and running, we're going to go ahead and bring back Planet Hero. All jokes aside, it'll definitely be me and Donald back in the full swing of things. Depending on the schedule, we might do Planet Hero every 2 weeks. We might alternate it with Planet Council, because as you guys know, we are doing Planet Council right now every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks on Saturdays, we review the past 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. So maybe once, things are up in the swing, we might just replace Planet Council with Planet Hero. It all just depends on the scheduling, when me and Donald are available, and, more importantly, when I have time to record and get everything up. But we, all jokes aside, like I've said, we are definitely not done with Planet Hero at all. Like TJ mentioned, that WandaVision video that me and Donald did, it got almost 60 views in the initial run.
Yeah.
Which was very, very huge. That was a big uptick for the channel as a whole. So we want to do more of that. Kind of like how you guys have seen our Planet Council episodes. They're a little bit quicker. They're a little bit lighter because we're just doing, the reviews and stuff. But yeah, with that, we're definitely going to bring you that stuff. But let us know, we want you to follow us on the social medias, but more importantly, we want you to give us your feedback on the social media. Tweet at us using @PlanetFilmPod. Let us know what you want. What do you want to see? Do you like the format of the show? Do you think it's terrible and it needs to be changed? I don't think so. I think we've gotten a good rhythm. But we want to know what you think. We know what we think already. We want input from you guys. Let us know. You can always comment on any of our posts on Instagram with general feedback. We'll get that as well. we'll get the notification that you guys commented. So anything you want to comment on, you can comment on Instagram, and let us know what that. Hell, you can even post your own post on Instagram and tag us in it, and then we could see it that way. So let us know. We just want to make the shooting the shit this week, just some good old fashioned, community outreach for you guys. Just let us know what you want to see. Let us know if there's anything you want us to change or anything that we could be doing better. Again, if you guys listened to the Mandalorian review of the last episode of Planet Council, that was the first official one with TJ editing the audio. So if you're listening on the audio platforms, which we are up to, I believe, are we up to around, I think 400 something total listens? Which, is good. And we're trying to put a big focus in the coming weeks on that on the audio platforms for you guys. TJ is working real hard to get them edited and uploaded to give you guys a little bit better quality of the audio experience rather than just, tearing it straight from YouTube and listening to it
because most of the time it's not the best sounding.
Yeah, because the YouTube compression and stuff, with uploading to YouTube and then downloading it to an audio file, you lose a lot of that, nice sound fidelity. So TJ's working really hard to get those audio episodes up for you guys. And again, like we said last time, the shows will be on Tuesday. It's just this week with all the COVID stuff. We had Tuesday was just very hectic. So we didn't do it then, but whenever the show is, the following day is when the audio will be up. So right now, this is Thursday night. The audio will be up most likely, TJ said, by like midnight Friday night. So by tomorrow night, because that gives us today to do the live show, and then it gives him all of tomorrow night to do the editing. Because, we both have full-time jobs. We both have, full-time lives outside of this. So we got to find time when we can do this stuff. And again, we don't have editors. We don't have helpers. It's just the two of us trying to get this thing off the ground. But it's the two of us with all of you guys. So like I said, let us know, reach out to us, tweet at us, let us know whatever you want. And of course, comment on the videos. Join the live chat. Get your friends to join in on the live chat. We always post in advance, when the show is. It's typically Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. It's just, if there's a schedule hiccup or anything that comes up, it's just something that we have to push it. You see that with a lot of live shows, a lot of podcasts. But yeah, with that, I think that'll do it. TJ, did you have anything else you wanted to say about the community outreach or any of the stuff you're doing on the audio?
No, that's about it. I think you touched on everything. Go like, subscribe, comment, follow, tweet at, vote in the poll, like you just said.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
Hit all the buttons. Just any button that you see, please. Hit them all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, I will say, as always, my name is Sean Monk. My personal Twitter is @PasteEatingYak.
I'm TJ Cornwell, and my Twitter is @TJ_Cornwell.
And that will do it for this week's episode of Planet Film. Thank you guys for joining us for the past, about hour and 20 minutes. Always remember, guys, especially with everything's going on, we say it every week, but really stay safe out there. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll catch you in the next one.